Folks may be still working. We keep them in our minds and our prayers as they do. In Acts, the 18th chapter, it talks about working, starting with verse 1. It says, "And after these things, Paul departed from Athens and went to Corinth. He found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, who had recently come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because Claudius had commanded all the Jews to depart from Rome. And he came to them. So because he was of the same trade, he stayed with them and worked, for by occupation they were tent makers." Folks in the world there all worked as well, just as we did. And we need to think about people in their work, about how much they accomplish. Sometimes we've got dual occupations, and a lot of folks don't realize that. Anyway, it says here in more perfect illustrations, a working man's dual call. Mac Dupree, COE of Herman Miller Incorporated, describes a simple but profound incident that altered the culture of his organization. In the furniture industry of the 1920s, the machines of most factories were not run by electric motors, but by pulleys from a central drive shaft. The millwright was the person on whom the entire activity of the operation depended. He was the key person. One day, the millwright died. My father, being a young manager at the time, did not know what to do when a key person died, but thought he ought to go and visit the family. He went to the house and was invited to join the family in the living room. The widow asked my father if it would be all right if she read aloud some poetry. Naturally, he agreed. She went into the other room, came back with a bound book, and for many minutes read selected pieces of beautiful poetry. When she finished, my father commented on how beautiful the poetry was and asked who wrote it. She replied that her husband, the millwright, was the poet. It has now been nearly 60 years since the millwright died, and my father and many of us at Herman Miller continue to wonder, was he a poet who did millwright's work, or was he a millwright who wrote poetry? We don't have to do just what we're doing in work and labor. We are varied and wonderful folks. We can do what we need to do and in what we enjoy to do. Sometimes what is our profession is not necessarily what our calling is. So as you go about this day, be confident and thankful that you have a job, but also look to God for your calling, for it may be something totally different. God bless you. Have a great day.